Tell us your philosophy on subsidies and earmarks.
First and foremost is that I have made a pledge that's part of my 10-point plan on my website, adamhasner.com. When I go to Washington, I will not support any legislation with an earmark in it whatsoever. And I can tell you this, is that right now in government, we can't afford the types of subsidies that are out there. I supported the elimination of the ethanol subsidy, and I would support the elimination of all of those types of subsidies if we can make the small decisions when it comes to balancing our federal budget, like cutting Planned Parenthood or eliminating funding for National Public Radio. How do we expect that we're going to have the political courage to balance our budget with the types of spending cuts that we need to make elsewhere in the budget and the types of entitlement reforms that we need to make? And so I think it is very important for us to understand that those are types of things that we cannot afford right now. We have to get our fiscal house in order, and that means making difficult decisions in eliminating spending, and subsidies are a part of it, and earmarks are certainly a part of it.
There is a budget crunch and you have to reduce spending. Which of these agencies' budgets would you reduce? The EPA, DOE, or FDA?
Can I say all of the above? and I think, and I'm not sure if I heard the Department of Education in there either.
Yeah, DOE.
I think, and the Department of Education is a perfect example. And while the budget is only about $100 billion at the federal DOE, I think it sends the wrong message in terms of states' rights. I think it sends the wrong message in terms of where the power should be to best educate our children. And that is at the states and at the local level. And so a devolution of that agency, of the Department of Education, back to the states, back to the localities, is critical. When you talk about the EPA, I couldn't agree with you more about defunding it because of what it is doing. The bureaucrats and the regulations that are right now threatening with the backdoor cap and trade and carbon tax, these are the job-killing regulations that are out there. Republicans right now have the ability to do more oversight, to be more aggressive. I haven't seen it yet, but when we take back control of the majority in the House and the Senate after 2012, that is an agency, whether a Republican president or a Democrat president, where the Congress needs to be more aggressive so that there is less coming out of the agency and everything that does come out has congressional authority.
Thank you. What is your opinion of climate change science?
What I can tell you is I don't believe in man-made global warming, and that it is. I don't buy into the alarmist mentality that is out there that the world is coming to an end. Whether there is some warming or not, I think is still yet to be factually determined over a long period of time. But whether there is or not, I don't think that it rises to the level of where we need to completely globalize our economy and create the types of schemes that are going to reduce individual freedom and more so that are going to drive up the cost of energy. It's all about control. And these are people who have an agenda and are using quote-unquote climate change as a way to achieve their agenda to have more control over the energy economy, not just in America, but around the entire world as well.
What is the purpose of climate change regulations?
Well, and I think I just mentioned that briefly. The purpose of it, I believe, is to organize the entire economy. I think the purpose of it is to have wealth transformation or wealth transfer from industrial countries to non-industrial countries. This is a scheme that has been invented by those who think that it's better for America to fit in with the rest of the world than it is for America to lead it. I think it is critical for us to fight back and fight back aggressively because the types of regulations that are out there are going to increase the cost of energy. They're going to reduce our individual freedoms. We see it now with what type of light bulbs we can choose and those types of things. So this really is about control of a very large sector of our economy and of the global economy as well.
In attending county commission meetings over the past year, our members have been shocked to discover the implementation of global governance throughout all facets of our local government. Terms such as smart growth, green print, and sustainable development indicate UN-based policies being implemented locally under the general umbrella of Agenda 21. What do you know about Agenda 21?
I'm familiar with Agenda 21. I have a much different vision for the 21st century, and it doesn't include George Soros. I can tell you that I will oppose anything that has any impact on our nation's sovereignty. And for us to defer decisions to global organizations, to the United Nations, is in contradiction with everything that I believe about America and America's role in the world, whether it's on the issue of environmental regulations, whether it's on issues related to the family, or whether it's on issues related to currency. I think it is extremely important for America to retain our sovereignty, and so that we do not fit in with everybody else.
And our last question.
Sure.
Are there any conditions under which international law should be considered or applied to the United States? For example, for gun control, Sharia law, or parental rights?
I can just say this, that there has been no one in this state who has been more outspoken about the threats of Sharia law. For 5 years now, I have been showing movies like Obsession, Radical Islam's War Against the West, The Third Jihad. I have been on the same stage with Geert Wilders. I have recognized, and I do recognize, that Sharia law is incompatible with the tenets and principles of the United States Constitution, and I will do everything possible to ensure that Sharia law is not insinuated into our American courts, into Florida courts. It is something that does not respect the rights of women, the individual rights of others. This is something that we need to be more educated about, and this is something that I have been a leader on for years and will continue to be outspoken on it, regardless of the fact that even just recently, the Council of American Islamic Relations just attacked me for speaking out against Sharia Islam. This is something that I believe is a threat, as I mentioned, not just a threat on foreign soil, but also from the Muslim Brotherhood. It is a threat from those who seek to destroy us from within, and we cannot allow political correctness to get into the way. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.